They posted a picture of her on a yacht with the caption, "Family means everything, our real daughter." I was sitting in the kitchen eating leftovers when I saw it. My heart dropped. My hands started shaking. And then I saw the comments. "She's so lucky. She looks just like her mum. Real daughters deserve real love." If that just shattered your heart too, don't forget to like, subscribe and comment justice for Isabella to support this story. It's not just a script, it's someone's reality. I wasn't adopted. I wasn't a guest. I was their biological daughter. But somewhere along the line, I became the extra, the backup plan, the placeholder. It started small, my mum accidentally forgetting to buy me birthday gifts while my foster sister got a full spa day. Then it became holidays. They took her to Switzerland for Christmas. I got a sweater from a thrift store. At first, I told myself maybe I was just overthinking. Maybe this was all in my head. But then, Mom said something that erased every doubt. We were arguing about a trip they never told me about. I asked her why she didn't invite me, and she just snapped. "You were never supposed to be the centre of this family. You were a mistake we had to live with. She's the daughter we chose." And then she walked away, like nothing she said could possibly destroy someone. That night, I cried till my eyes swelled shut, but I didn't scream. I didn't break anything. I just made a promise to myself. One day, they would regret choosing her over me. One day, they'd beg to be seen in my shadow. So while they posted fake family love online, I deleted every trace of myself from their world and started building my own. Quietly, patiently, ruthlessly. They had no idea what I was planning. And when the moment came, I made sure they'd never forget what their placeholder became. 3 years later, my name was trending on every major platform, but they still didn't recognize it, because I never used my real last name again. I had legally changed it the day I walked out, the day they left me behind to celebrate my foster sister's fake graduation, while I sat alone at my real one. That night, while they partied on a rooftop in Dubai, I signed my first 7-figure contract. No congratulations, no calls, just a cold text from Mum. "Hope you're doing something useful with your life." She had no idea I already owned the company that hired her best friend's son. The anger never left me, but I turned it into something else. Power. I worked every night, slept on a mattress in my office, ate noodles while they posted lobster dinners. While they made her the face of their fake perfect family, I made myself invisible to them and unmissable to the world. By 23, I had my own digital marketing firm. By 24, I had a private team of coders who helped me launch an AI tool that went viral overnight. I was interviewed by Forbes anonymously. My voice was used in podcasts, my words quoted in Harvard lectures, and they still had no idea. Until last week. Mum called me after years of silence, not to apologise, not to check in, but to ask for a favour. She wanted me to help a friend who had a struggling beauty brand. She said, "You work with tech people, right? Maybe you could get her some Instagram reach or whatever. You're good with buttons and stuff." She didn't know her friend had already pitched to my team. She didn't know that I had personally declined the deal because I recognised her last name. I told Mum I'd look into it. The next day, I sent her a link. It was to a live investor event hosted by my company. I told her to watch closely. Someone very familiar is going to be the keynote speaker, I said. She laughed like it was a joke. She had no idea her own placeholder daughter was about to walk on that stage in a designer suit and destroy every fake smile they'd ever posted online. The moment I stepped on stage, Mum dropped her phone. I could see it in the live stream comments. Someone typed, "Wait, isn't that Lisa's daughter?" Another said, "Why does she have a different last name?" The host introduced me as the founder and CEO of Beltec Media, the billion-dollar firm that had just acquired 3 of the biggest influencer agencies in the country. My presentation wasn't just about business. It was a silent, calculated message. Every brand deal, every partnership I mentioned directly crushed the people who once ignored me. My face lit up the screen. But back home, Mum's was pale. That night, my inbox exploded. Journalists wanted interviews, investors wanted meetings. But one message stood out. It was from her, my foster sister. "OMG, I had no idea this was you. So proud of you, real talk. Let's catch up sometime." I didn't even reply. I forwarded it straight to my legal team with one line. "Block this email permanently." I wasn't here for reunions. I was here for payback. Clean, classy and cold. 2 days later, I invited my parents to a private family brunch. They were confused but curious. The place? A luxury penthouse restaurant they could never afford, because I owned the building. When they walked in, I didn't stand to greet them. I just sat there, sipping coffee, watching their confusion. Mom smiled awkwardly and said, "So, you're doing well, huh?" I nodded. "Doing okay. Got a couple of things going on." Dad tried to laugh. "Wish you told us sooner. We would have celebrated with you." I didn't flinch. "You were too busy taking someone else on luxury trips to notice." Then I handed Mom a gift box. Inside was a printed copy of her old Instagram post. "So proud of our real daughter." Underneath, I placed a notarized document. Her jaw dropped. It was the ownership transfer of her friend's entire failing brand to me. I smiled. "Don't worry, I bought it yesterday, for fun." Her hands trembled. She looked at me like she'd seen a ghost. I leaned forward and said, "This isn't revenge. It's just closure." But the truth? I wasn't even close to done, because the next twist would be public. Mum didn't show up at the gala, but Dad did, and brought my foster sister with him. She wore a red designer dress and walked the carpet like she owned the place. "Smile, Isabella," she shouted across flashing cameras, pretending we were close. I didn't even blink. The photographers swarmed her, whispering, "That's the influencer girl, right?" She posed like it was her moment, until the main screen behind her changed. A video started playing. It looked like a highlight reel. Photos of luxury trips, family vacations, birthday posts. But something was off. Each picture was labelled placeholder daughter, image prop, and used for views. Then the final frame zoomed in on me, with a line underneath. "Meet Isabella Carter, founder of Beltec Media, real daughter." The next day, I posted a statement. No hashtags, no filters, just, quote, "I was never invisible. I was just underestimated." End quote, unquote. Within minutes, the post went viral. Millions of views, celebrities reposted it, brands reached out, news anchors debated it live. Quote, Was this the greatest silent revenge in influencer history? End quote. But while the world cheered, my parents went silent. Their follower count dropped, sponsorships pulled out. The world saw through the filter, and they had no backup plan. Later that week, Mum messaged again, "Can we talk? I miss you." I stared at the screen, heart steady, then typed back just 2 words. Quote, quote, too late, end quote, unquote. But this wasn't about burning bridges. It was about building my own island. The next move I made would shake their world completely, because they still didn't know, end quote. I had bought the platform that made them famous in the first place. End quote. They had no clue the platform they used to post every fake smile, every perfect family video, end quote, was now under my control. 2 months ago, I quietly acquired the startup that powered their influencer reach. It was in financial trouble, and I saw an opportunity. I renamed it under a parent tech firm, Beltech Group, without attaching my face to it. So when they posted their next sob story video titled "We Lost Our Daughter to Fame," the algorithm flagged it and throttled their reach to almost 0. Suddenly, their comments were filled with people saying, "Why aren't we seeing your videos anymore?" And then someone leaked the news. Beltech Media quietly acquired Glowsphere, the influencer engine used by major content creators. My name was attached to the article. Headlines exploded. "Daughter destroys parents using their own platform." Mum went live that night crying, claiming she's out for revenge. But I never said a word. I didn't have to. Within days, their sponsorship deals vanished. Their luxury brand tags removed them from posts. Brands didn't want to touch toxic family drama. My inbox, meanwhile, overflowed. Netflix offered a docuseries. A-list tech panels invited me to speak. Even Vogue requested an interview, not about fashion, but power. And when I finally walked onto that stage at the Women in Tech Summit, the applause didn't stop for a full minute. I looked straight into the camera and said, "This isn't about revenge, it's about reclaiming identity." But even now, they weren't done. My foster sister made a move I didn't see coming, a move so bold it risked everything I built in silence. And once I saw what she posted, I realised this wasn't over. It was just the beginning of something much darker. The moment I saw her post, my heart froze. It was a photo of me, standing beside a man who looked like a billionaire tech mogul, except it was deep fake. The caption, "Exposed. Isabella slept her way to the top. Proof inside." The post hit 1 million views in under 2 hours. And the comments were brutal. Knew she wasn't smart enough to build that company. Another gold digger playing CEO. Disgusting if true. My reputation, my brand, my everything was under fire. But here's what she didn't know. I had already been building my own trap in the background. The man in the photo, he was real, but he was also my mentor and the chairman of the Global Ethics Council for AI. I called him. Within minutes, his legal team launched a digital defamation case. We traced the video to a shady editing company in Estonia. Guess who paid them? My foster sister, using Mom's card. The next morning, the media flipped. Isabella vindicated. Fake scandal destroyed by digital forensics. And then came the real twist. I dropped a press release that shook the internet. Isabella West launches TruthCore, a startup fighting AI misinformation worldwide. That same day, investors poured in $42 million in funding. The foster sister who tried to ruin me ended up fueling the biggest chapter of my legacy. My face was everywhere. Forbes, Bloomberg, even Times Square. Meanwhile, she and my parents were being sued for digital defamation, cyberbullying, and reputational harm. But just when I thought the storm was over, I received an anonymous letter. One line, no name, just, "They weren't working alone, and you're next." My hands trembled as I read it again, because the handwriting looked exactly like my birth father's, the one who disappeared years ago without a trace. A week later, I sat in my penthouse office, the city lights glowing beneath me, but my mind stuck on that letter. Why now? Why him? Why me? I handed it to a private investigator I'd trusted since the early days, someone who helped me stay hidden when I was building my company in silence. His words chilled me. "Isabella, this isn't random. Your birth father faked his death. He's part of something bigger, and your foster sister, she was just the bait." My breath caught. All this time I thought I was fighting a petty, jealous family, but I had been in a game I didn't even know existed, a web of power, betrayal and legacy, deeper than blood. I flew to a remote island the letter hinted at, and there he was, older, colder, but alive. "You weren't a placeholder, Isabella," he said, his voice sharp as a blade. "You were the plan, and now it's time you take your place." That night, standing alone on that island's cliffside, I realized I wasn't just a girl who built a billion-dollar company from pain. I wasn't just the forgotten daughter or the family's mistake. I was the storm they never saw coming, and now that the world finally knew who I wasn't done. I was just getting started.